So in this segment, we're going to be talking about the heavy crackdown on student protesters in America. And as much as I belittle protesters, because in my heart I don't think they change much, I have to, hats off to this lot, because at least they're trying. Maybe that's one of the things where something where I need to really look at in my own kind of shortcomings as a person. But university students always been well, they have they're meant to have a record of being radicals, but being anti-war. They did that during the Vietnam War, and we're seeing it again, I think. And the police as heavy-handed as ever. I mean, this is wild. Yeah. Just look at the amount of people being arrested. There's 2 there. Look at this geezer. Like, honestly, what is there any need to grab on someone like that? The way he's speaking to her as well. I mean, he's just thrown her onto the ground. I think that's probably her. It might be her glasses as well. I mean, this is wild. I mean, I hope these dogs are proud of themselves. Honestly. Is there any need to do this? Threw head onto concrete.
You people are fascists. You are Hitler. You are.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far, call him Hitler, but definitely fascist vibes. Like, is there any need to do this to tear down a protest like this in this brutal fashion? There's another dude getting dragged away. Look at that.
Shame on you. May you never live another day.
I am a professor.
This is every professor, everyone.
Imagine you work for this university. The university have called in the police, or someone's called in the police, probably the university, let's be honest now. This is private property at the end of the day. And these are potentially your employees being involved in this.
You are rabid dogs. You are fascists.
It was a peaceful protest until they started.
Look, Blood's got, look, he's got a loaded weapon. I wonder if there's a live round.
Fighting troopers. Yeah, thanks for sharing it, pal. But madness. This is America. Like, this is the land of the free and the home of the brave. It's wild. It's from Pelosi.
And the hecklers are saying about Joe Biden, the label Genocide Joe. Could that cost?
Genocide Joe is a pretty nuts one. I know they just said to LBJ, how many kids did you bomb today? And now you've got Genocide Joe. I mean,
support for Israel cost Democrats the election this fall.
Well, it's interesting to me that you use that term, because that's what we see at 3 o'clock in the morning outside of our house, flashing as long as this room, a sign that says that. And he has been, as I say, the force for humanitarian assistance to them. He now is called.
He has also been the force of arming one side doing the plausible genocide. He has been the force that probably could have stopped this. He has been the force of signing another bill which is going to help give them more weapons. So, no, that's a doubt. You can't, on the one hand, give more food aid, and on the other hand, supply weapons of destruction that are causing one of the main reasons why people need food aid.
Calling for the ceasefire. Who's resisting the ceasefire at this point is Hamas.
That's not true either. We'll get to that in a few minutes.
Remember, Hamas is a terrorist organization in our view. Hamas has in its charter the destruction of the state of Israel. So this is more complicated. In terms of your question about the election, it would...
Okay, but like, in this case, what the students want is a ceasefire, right? So, you're arguing Hamas are a terror organization, which is true. But, you don't have to be a terror organization in response to them.
It's in Putin's interest for...
Oh no, Vladimir Putin. Yes, the man who's caused all of this. Big Vlad.
What's his name? To win.
Bro can't even beat Ukraine, yet he's organising protests in America. Okay.
And therefore, I see some encouragement on the part of the Russians of some of what's going on.
Who cares if they're encouraging it? It's your own fault for cracking down on these protests so heavily. They wouldn't get anywhere near the coverage if you didn't send in the feds like a bunch of attack dogs.
I trust the sincerity of many of the demonstrators. It's organic, it's spontaneous, it's real. But some of it.
If she was around back then, she would have argued the Soviet Union are the ones pushing protesters against the Vietnam War. Guarantee you that.
I think has a Russian tinge to it. In terms of the election, people have to just...
She sounds as unhinged as like the Russians when they say, "Oh, America's behind this," when it's like organic protests on their own streets. This lady just retire, just retire from him. And if you want to look at what they're, this kind of stuff they're protesting, evidence of torture as nearly 400 bodies found in Gaza mass graves. Mass graves found in 2 hospitals in the Gaza Strip containing 392 bodies, including those of women, children, and the elderly, showed signs of torture and execution. You had people who had their hands bound, who were executed. This is the stuff people are protesting against.
So I started running, and then when I turn around, I see, they got my friend, they tackled him to the ground, they just went crazy, honestly. It makes me feel sad, but not just for Emory University, but for the state of America. Like, what the hell is this, It's freedom of speech. We didn't even do anything wrong, and now these people are just tied up, heads down.
Look at this, it's crazy.
And if you saw how some of these people came here, it was atrocious.
It's mad. Like, I wonder what these protesters are even accused of doing, honestly. You have a professor being arrested?
I'm so sorry. Is there anything I can do for you right now?
Can you call the philosophy department office and tell them I've been arrested?
Philosophy department?
Yes. Call the philosophy department office.
I will. What's your...
Noel McAfee, I'm chair of the philosophy department.
I got you.
President-elect.
It's crazy. Just a mad country. Madness. Here you've got, pick up the French. Here you got Sorbonne University students. Paris joined the Free Palestine movement. So yeah, big shouts out to them as well. Mahdizan saying shame on everyone in the West and on this site who covered for Netanyahu, pretended on his behalf that this war was about hostages. It never was. And you've got a former spokesperson, well, not this person, but a former spokesperson for hostages' families, says Hamas offered to immediately release all the hostages if the IDF didn't invade Gaza, but the government rejected the proposal. So this could have been resolved. The hostages could have been freed, but Netanyahu said no. He saw his big chance to invade Gaza, and he took it. There is no doubt that Netanyahu is preventing a deal to release the abductees. Chaim Rubenstein, until recently a spokesperson for the families of the abductees, reveals details about the meetings with Netanyahu, about the pressure exerted by the Prime Minister's office and the reasons for which he resigned from his life project. In an interview with Gideon Allon, he revealed, quote, "In retrospect, we learned that Hamas offered to immediately release all the abducted citizens if the IDF did not enter the Strip, but the government rejected the proposal." Because Netanyahu, in my opinion, saw this as a way to invade Gaza, take more of the land of Gaza, but also invade the West Bank and increase the settlements there, because he's reliant on settler voters. So the more settlers there are, the more votes he can win, and the more he keeps his, in power. The more he keeps the far right in his own power. This is it. And like the argument of we need to really get the hostages out, you've botched it. And I don't even know what the state of those hostages will be. Honestly, the fact that they're having to ship in food aid, fly in food aid to these areas. I would be surprised if many of the hostages survived, to be honest with you. And this is the guy who could potentially stop it all.
Imagine what we can do next. 4 more years. Pause. 4 more years. Pause.
This is the guy. This is the guy that the Democratic Party have pushed. This is the guy who could stop it all. Honestly, it's just crazy to me. I look at the state of British politicians, and I'm like, damn. I look at this, and I'm just like, bro, like, how is Pelosi and Biden still there? But just to go back to the point of really big credit to these student protesters. Honestly, I wouldn't have the guts to do it. Honestly, I wouldn't have the guts to do it. So massive respect to them, the students and the professors as well. You've got I think she's an employee of the university. She might not have even been a protester. She might have been like, what the hell are you doing to that student? I mean, look, facing concrete. Look how many officers you've got. I think there's about 3 or 4 there, arresting one person. It's crazy. Yeah, you have about 4 people there, and look, she's thrown her onto the ground, onto concrete. Like, this is nuts. It's absolutely nuts. And this is a so-called free country, the shining city on a hill. Okay.